Anger is a fantastic force. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter, I want a nicer house, I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. Right now you're watching it and you look around you and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. You need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man. Age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire in your 60s, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. You need to realize you got a few short years as a young man, you're wasting them. Get angry. Forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force. When I was broke, I couldn't sleep. I wanted money like I needed air. I am smart enough to know that money equals freedom. I'm not gonna live broke, get rich, or die trying. I understand that completely. I couldn't tolerate it, and I was so uncomfortable that it gave me the motivation I needed to escape. It's very easy to get exactly what you want if you try. What you have is people who try 60%. They try one day, then they miss a day. And then they say, I tried my best, but I still failed. You didn't try your best because you missed a day. I have always tried my best, which is why I have everything I've ever tried to get. I don't have the things I didn't try to get. If I see a man and he's like, oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to try, I just drink. Well, then I don't like you because you're an idiot. The competition is absolutely and utterly fierce. Understanding that you're a man with a small pistol up against a mighty army. If you want to add a little bit of laziness on top, you work 8 hours a day? You work 8? If I'm awake, I'm working. I don't take a second off. I don't relax. I don't rest. I don't stop. I don't chill. None. That is all I do. And you are at home competing against me, and you want to watch a movie tonight and then say you're not lazy. All I'm trying to say is that the world, especially the masculine world, is one large, endless competition. If you want to win a game, you need to at least play it. You can pretend there's no competition, but then you're not going to win. If you wake up and realize that the car you want, other men want, the house you want, other men want, the job you want, other men want, when you realize this, you're like, okay, now I know the competition, let me go try and win. If someone were to say to me, Andrew, how do I get rich? I'd say, well, then you have to understand that all the money you're trying to make, other people are trying to make. So you need to be faster, you need to be more competitive, you need to try harder, you need to wake up earlier, you need to dedicate yourself. And if they say to me, I don't want to do that, I'm going to say, okay, then you're a loser. Go lose. Here's the next man who wants to win. And then when he wins, people are going to ask him how he did it. And I'm going to say, because he played the game. I don't think many people are actually too stupid to be rich. You can be below average IQ and still get very rich. It's step by step. Do this, do that, do this, and don't be lazy. So stupid's not the problem. So we have people who are lazy, very few are stupid, but the majority, the main reason most people are broke is because they are arrogant. I will sit here and say all the things I've said. Somebody at home will watch and digest it for free. And they'll sit there and go, nah, I'll do it myself. I became world champion by listening to my coach. I didn't become world champion by walking in and saying, I'll do it myself. You have to listen. If Mike Tyson were to walk in, or if Elon Musk were to walk in here and talk to me about money, I wouldn't be sitting there going, I can do that. Even though I already understand I don't want to launch a car brand or put rockets in space, please, you must know some things I don't know. I sit with people who I used to go to school with from Luton who are still broke and tell them how to make money. And you know what they do? They answer back. Yeah, but you know, it's not that simple because, you know, the wife gets the kid, and you know what, and I don't like to do things that way. The way I like to work, the way you like to work is why you're fucking broke. I told you how to take your business of painting and decorating and make a serious amount of money, and now you're telling me the way you like to work? Then stay broke. They'll sit with a multi-millionaire and tell you their view. Oh, I think that know when you're out qualified and accept it and learn. I can't play piano for shit. The piano teacher walked in here and said, this is what you do. And I said, well, I like to move my hands this way. But this is the arrogance people operate under. So I'd say 20% of people are lazy. A large portion of the world are not lazy. They're actually working exceptionally hard, but they're doing the wrong thing. So say 25%, 5% is 30%. But 70% of people are brutally arrogant. And this is why they are poor. Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, they care about you. Yeah, sure, there may be 2 or 3 people on the planet genuinely care about you. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you to a job, force you to work hard, and go and buy you a Ferrari. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself.
You wake up every morning, check your phone, scroll mindlessly, and convince yourself that today will be different, but it won't. You're not broke because the economy's bad. You're not broke because life is unfair. You're broke because you think like a loser. You've been programmed since birth to see money as something you earn by trading your time. You've been taught that working hard at a stable job is the smart way to live. But look around. How many people do you know who followed that path and are actually winning? If hard work was the key, the guy breaking his back on a construction site would be a millionaire. You've been sold a lie so deep that you defend it. You laugh at the idea of making money online. You call people scammers when they try to teach you how to escape, because your mind is so deeply programmed to believe that financial freedom is either a scam or an impossible dream. You refuse to believe that you're the problem, so you blame the government, your boss, inflation, everything except the person in the mirror. And because of that, you'll stay exactly where you are, stuck, broken, confused. And here's the worst part. The system wants you dependent. They designed it that way. You think it's a coincidence that school never taught you about taxes, investments, or building wealth? Because if you knew how money actually worked, you wouldn't be sitting in a cubicle taking orders from a boss who doesn't care about you. They need you trapped. They need you to take out loans, to stay in debt, to keep working for a paycheck that barely covers your expenses. They let you have just enough money to survive, but never enough to escape. And you accept it. You live for the small moments of escape, watching Netflix, scrolling TikTok, ordering junk food, because deep down you know you're stuck and distractions are the only thing that keep you from facing reality. You don't have chains on your hands, but you have chains on your mind. And that's even worse. They put you in school at 5 years old and force you to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day, memorize useless facts, and obey authority without question. But did they ever teach you how to make money? No, because that was never the goal. The goal was to turn you into a worker, a cog in their machine. You weren't trained to think, you were trained to comply. They taught you just enough to function in society, but never enough to break free from it. They made you believe that getting good grades meant you were smart, that working a stable job meant you were secure. But look at the reality. The ones who followed the safe path are the ones struggling the most. And the worst part, you still defend this system. You believe in it because you don't know anything else. Money is simple when you understand how it works, but they will never teach you that. If everyone knew how to escape, who would be left to serve? Your 9-to-5 job is a prison. You wake up every morning, not because you want to, but because you have to. You sit in traffic, waste hours of your life working for someone else's dream, and then come home too tired to do anything about your own life. You think this is how life is supposed to be. You convince yourself that you're lucky to even have a job, that you should be grateful for your salary, even though it barely covers your expenses. They've brainwashed you so well that you don't even see the trap you're in. The CEO makes more in a day than you make in a year, and you still believe that hard work will set you free. You work overtime hoping for a raise while your boss takes vacations you can't afford. You save money like a good little employee while inflation eats away at your bank account, and yet you don't question any of it. If you're not making money while you sleep, you'll work until you die. You were trained to believe that money is something you trade your time for. But that's the slowest and most ineffective way to build wealth, because the moment you stop working, the money stops coming in. The rich don't live like this. They make money whether they wake up at 5 a.m. or sleep till noon. They can take vacations, disappear for months, and still come back richer than before. Meanwhile, you miss one paycheck and your entire life falls apart. You convince yourself that working harder is the solution, but it's not. Because hard work without the right strategy is just slavery. The ones who truly win are the ones who understand how to multiply their money, how to build streams of income that don't require their constant effort. Comfort is the real enemy. You don't take risks because you're scared of failure. You don't try new things because you're scared of looking stupid. You stay in the same miserable situation because at least it's familiar. But safety is the enemy of growth. You won't put in the effort to learn how money works, but you'll spend hours watching TV. You won't invest in yourselves, but you'll waste money on things that bring you zero value. You want everything to be handed to you without struggle. But that's not how the real world works. Poor people worship entertainment, rich people worship discipline. Look at how you spend your time. You wake up and the first thing you do is check social media, scroll through nonsense, and distract yourself from your own miserable reality. Movies, TV shows, video games, things that do nothing for your future, nothing for your bank account, nothing for your freedom. Entertainment is designed to keep you poor. It's all there to make sure you never focus on what actually matters. You waste hours watching other people live their lives while your own life stays exactly the same. You say, I just need to relax. I deserve a break. But what are you taking a break from? You're not working on your goals. You're not building anything. You're taking a break from nothing, which is exactly why you have nothing. You cry about inflation, but you won't learn how to make more money. Every time prices go up, you panic. And instead of adapting, instead of finding ways to increase your income, you complain. You wait for politicians to fix things as if they care about your struggles. The only thing that can change is you, but instead of increasing your value, you waste time blaming external factors. And that's why you'll stay stuck. You stay broke because you react to life instead of taking control of it. The harsh truth, no one is coming to save you. No one cares about your struggles. No one cares that you had a rough childhood, that you're in debt. You can cry about it, you can sit there feeling sorry for yourself, but at the end of the day, nothing changes unless you do something about it. Life is a brutal competition, and the ones who refuse to play get left behind. No one is going to knock on your door and offer you a better life. The only way to win is to take full responsibility for where you are and make the changes necessary to escape. But most people would rather live in denial, blaming bad luck, the government, their circumstances, anything but themselves, because facing the truth is painful. In the real world, people step on the weak. If you're not valuable, you're replaceable. If you're not useful, you're discarded. Either you wake up and realize that everything is in your control, or you continue to live a life of mediocrity, struggling paycheck to paycheck, watching others succeed while you stay behind. You can sit there making excuses, telling yourself it's too hard, or you can break free. But breaking free requires action. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, putting in the work, and refusing to settle for an average life.
Success is not reserved for the lucky. It's not for the chosen few. It's for the relentless, for the disciplined, for the person willing to do whatever it takes. You don't get to the top by accident. You build it, brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice, tear by tear. You rise through suffering. You rise through pain. You rise because you refuse to be average one more damn day. And make no mistake, average is everywhere. It's in the excuses people make. It's in the parties you're skipping. It's in the weekends your friends are wasting. It's in the sleep you're giving up. It's in the opinions you've stopped caring about. You're not trying to be liked. You're trying to win. You're trying to break free. You're trying to become the first in your family to make it. And that means you're going to have to go to war with comfort, with doubt, with fear. And it's not a one-time battle. It's every single day. It's getting up early when you're tired. It's staying locked in when nothing's working. It's putting in work for years before anybody claps for you. You don't owe the world an explanation. You owe your dream a grind. You owe your future a fight. This is about the nights you cry in silence, the mornings you wake up broke, the days when quitting looks easy and you don't. You keep going. You keep showing up. You keep putting in work even when it feels like it's not paying off, because deep down, you know it is. You're planting seeds now that will grow into empires. You're pushing through hell now, so one day your kids won't have to. This ain't about luck. This is about obsession, about deciding that nothing, not failure, not fear, not family opinions, not even heartbreak, will stop you. You've been lied to. You've been told to wait, to be patient, to play it safe, that it's okay to just get by. But you were born to do more, born to rise above mediocrity, born to dominate. And the only way you're going to get there is by choosing to go all in. Not halfway, not kind of, not I'll try, but all in. That means doing what others won't. That means sacrificing comfort now so you can live with freedom later. That means being so locked in on your vision that you become dangerous, unstoppable. You stop looking for motivation and become self-motivated. You stop begging for support and start backing yourself. This is you versus every excuse, every bad habit, every voice that told you you can't. You're going to war with the part of you that wanted to settle, and you're going to win. Why? because you've made a decision. And once you decide, truly decide, nothing can stop you. Not rejection, not betrayal, not loneliness. You're too focused, too driven, too committed to becoming the person who changes everything. People will say you're obsessed. Good. They'll say you're intense. Great. They'll say you've changed. You better have, because the old you couldn't handle this level. The old you wanted it, but didn't want to work for it. The old you waited, hesitated, hid. But this version of you, this version burns for it, sacrifices for it, kills for it. This version of you doesn't stop at tired, doesn't fold under pressure, doesn't beg for validation. You've learned that every setback is a setup for a comeback, that the struggle is part of the story, that no one is coming to save you. But that's okay, because you're not looking for a savior. You're becoming the hero. This is the season you build yourself from the ground up. This is the season you burn the ships and eliminate Plan B. This is the season you say, it's me or no one. If they doubt you, use it. If they laugh at you, fuel up. If they leave, let them. You're not here to prove them wrong. You're here to prove yourself right. You were not created to live small. You were not born to blend in. And deep down, you know this. So what now? You put your head down. You lock in. You get up early. Stay up late. Learn what others won't. Outwork everybody in the room. Do what needs to be done even when nobody's watching. You sacrifice what's good for what's great. You fight through failure like it's your training ground. You stop complaining and start creating. Because the truth is, you're not stuck. You're just soft. And if you want the life that few have, you've got to become the kind of person few are willing to become. Ruthless, disciplined, unbreakable. And that takes work. The type of work most people will never do. But you will. Because you're done playing small. You're done hoping it happens. You're done watching others eat while you starve. You're stepping up. You're taking control. And you're doing whatever it takes to win, period.
The chance to live an extraordinary life. In an economic sense, my mentor put it this way: to climb the ladder of success as high as you wish to climb, here's the key: work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy. You know, I didn't learn that until I was 25 years old. They never taught it in high school. I went to college one year and never heard it. Your income is primarily determined by your philosophy, not the economy. And here's the philosophy: success is something you attract by becoming an attractive person, with an attractive personality, an attractive list of skills, all of those things that anyone can learn with a bit of study, practice, repetition.